Hello, welcome to the CRL show. I'm Paul Arandale.
I'm Geoff Stevenson.
Another big weekend of rugby league. We didn't get through totally unscathed, a few washouts here and there, but some good footy. We had Magic Round up in Tamworth.
Yeah.
That was sensational. We had a few other big things that happened around the traps, but some great rugby league play. Did you get out and see anything on the weekend?
Yeah, heading up the coast. I got a real feeling about those Kyogle turkeys. They're my team that I'm naming as my standout, upset champions of the year, which means they won't win.
Yep.
But up at Mullumbimby, they've won again.
Yeah.
It's 3 out of 4 for them, so they are looking good, the turkeys.
Yeah, that's good
Great
stuff.
game.
Yeah, good stuff. I went down the Central Coast to the entrance on Sunday.
Nice.
Forgot where I went.
Yeah.
It was just very damp down there, I can say. But,
it was good. Some games got in and there was rain everywhere, but it seemed to avoid some parts of the country enough to get games in, which is fantastic.
Yeah, shout out to the canteen staff at the entrance too. Sausage sandwich. I don't know if it had just been sitting in just, what do you call it, a tin of gravy or something for like 6 hours or whatever, but it was good.
I tell you, it's been a while since I've been up to, I think it's another graveyard at Old Bar.
Yeah.
There's a few graveyards around. I want to do a graveyard audit one day. But I think I've told the listeners and you before, viewers, they have the rissole rolls, and they actually, I've never sounded so excited about something. They actually store the rissoles in gravy.
Wow.
So they dig out of this gravy and they go, there you go. And I was like, I've never about 4 of these. They're so good. So keep it up at Old Bar.
Yeah, that's unreal. There's a couple of sort of unreal magic moments that happened on the weekend, or things that caught our eye. We'll kick things off here. First of all, we've got Sully, who's now has taken Scully Park over at Sully Park.
Yeah, that's fair for the effort he put in up there.
Yeah, he called I think we worked out he called 7-8 games on the weekend. So he called 5 New South Wales Cup games and then backed it up with some Group 4 games. And,
Jesus.
Group 4, it was good to have them back on board. We did the grand finals last year, but there were some entertaining games, a couple of draws. And
great footy. It looked beautiful conditions at Tamworth. I kept checking the weather up there before the weekend. I thought, it was just magic conditions.
Yeah, so well done to Sully. We'll have some magic results very shortly. Another moment was this one at Lower Clarence Yamba Sporting Complex. So here, old mate lining up the kick, and look out behind you. Oh no!
I think the ball boys were watching that happen. Do we do anything? No. Look, it's too late. It's too late.
Just weird things that catch your eye.
He played it cool.
I've always said that you see something happen in rugby league, you'll see it again in a day or two. Caleb Zeeble kicks a 50-metre field goal.
Cracker from dummy half.
Yeah.
Made it look easy.
What Latrell did it Thursday, Friday night.
Yeah.
Caleb Zeeble, normally a front rower, playing 5'8", just boots the lever out of that one and over she goes.
I think he hid well on the field because no one would have thought he was going to kick a field goal. They were no, he's not going to. So no one rushed up on him.
And I think even Latrell Mitchell had actually conceded and say that one was better.
Yeah, heaps better.
I don't know why, but maybe because...
Well, Latrell's... They're different kinds,
closer to the coast or something.
Different kinds of footy players too. No disrespect to Zeeble there. That, Latrell's probably got years of popping over field goals. So, that was fantastic. Yeah,
so just a few moments that happened on the weekend. If you've seen anything odd like that, let us know. Contact at BarTV. We'd love to, have a look.
I love the black witches hats. You don't see them around much, but I don't know whether someone's painted it to be Lower Clarence or whether you find them somewhere. It's fantastic.
It was left over from the cyclone, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know, washed in the shore.
Yeah. All right, let's get into some results that happened on the weekend. As you said, it was Magic Round up at Tamworth, a great event, lots and lots and lots of footy. Round 10, Penrith defeated Western Suburbs 40-16. North Sydney on the bell pretty much defeated Newcastle 26-24. Cracking try to end that one. Warriors, this one was down at Collies. New Zealand Warriors 46, Canberra 30. And then we head back to Tamworth where Dragons thumped Newtown 34-4. Sydney Roosters 36-20 over Manly. And Canterbury 41-28 over Para.
Yeah, and then on the Jersey Flegg rolled on round 10. Penrith, comfortable 40 to 20 points win against West Tigers. The Warriors went down to Canberra 32 points to 28. Bulldogs defeated the Eels 36 points to 10. Souths, Silktails close again. They went down 14 points to 6 to Souths. Cronulla 30 points to 18 against Dragons, and 28-26 Newcastle defeating Melbourne, and Sydney Roosters defeating Manly 24 points to 10.
Ron Massey, round 8. St Mary's got the win over Ryde Eastwood 30 to 20. Glebe 32-24 over Blacktown Workers. Wentworthville 22, Canterbury 14. I think Jared Hayne played in that one.
Yeah, that's right.
And Hills Bulls 12, Penrith Brothers 6.
Yeah, and NRRL lost a few games because of the poor weather, but got a few games in, which was a bonus. Evans Head defeated Lyle Clarence 32 points to 16. Coogin defeated Ballon. That was a cracker of a game, 20 points to 16. Mighty Kyogle 29 points to 21, which is a pretty rare score you see these days. Defeated Mullumbimby, and Belamba were comfortable against Moolumbar 40 points to 14.
Where are we? Illawarra round 3. Dealer went down to Collies 20 to 16. Thuril 32-24 over Dapto, and West Illawarra 54, Corrimal 10.
We'll talk Clayton's Cup later on, but Collies are undefeated. The only team in Illawarra undefeated, which I wouldn't have picked this time of year. Round 4, out West Way. This was part of the Magic Round festivities and celebrations. Werris Creek, it was a draw. It actually was a cracker of a game too against Gunnedah. Moree defeated Dunwogan 32 points to 10. Katingal defeated Weewar 40 points to 10. And Boggabri, this was Friday night footy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Boggabri.
No, this one was
Saturday night. Saturday night. Yeah. 32 points all against North Tamworth. Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah, entertaining. Great comeback from the Kangaroos to snatch a draw.
Yeah.
Newcastle round 5. Maitland 38-0 over Cessnock. Macquarie 22-20 over Lakes. Curry 20-18 over Central. And the entrance 12-6 over Wyong. South 30-10 over Northern Hawks.
Yeah, down to Group 7, round 5. Now, Berry up against defeated Jamboree 20 points to 18. Great win there. Albion Park defeated Gerringong 20 points to 6. Few upsets, really, this round. Kiama defeated Milton Ulladulla 22 points to 6. And the Battle of Shell Harbour, the Stingrays defeated Shell Harbour Sharks 12 points to 8.
Canberra, it is round 5 down there, the nation's capital. Woden Valley 36-16 over Tuggeranong. Goulburn City 30-18 over Gungahlin. Queanbeyan Blues 22-20 in a tight one over Belconnen United. And Queanbeyan Roos 6-8 over Yass.
Yeah, down to Group 9. I can't do it very well. Group 9, round 4. Big round down there in Group 9. The Kangaroos defeated Junee 52 points to 0. Albury Thunder defeated Cootamundra 52 points to 14. Gundagai defeated Young 30 points to 22. South City went down to Tumut 28 points to 26. And Temora 88 points to 6 against Brothers to retain the Challenge Cup.
Yes, good result for the Temora Dragons. Central Coast, round 5. All games got through. Wyong 18-4 over the entrance. 32-22, Berkeleyvale over Arimba. Toukley had a good win, 34-0 over Terrigal. And Erina, 18-12 over Kincumber. We know the Colts have got a pretty talented squad this year, but Erina,
that's right. Bit of a big upset. Now, Peter McDonald, round 3, heading out that way, and a bit of BarTV coverage this year, which is fantastic. Mudgee defeated Bathurst 24 points to 18. Parks in a close one against Nyngan. They defeated them 28 points to 24. Dubbo Sims defeated Wellington 26 points to 10. St Pat 64 points to 16 against Lithgow. And Orange Sims, this is Battle of Orange. 17 points to 16 against Orange Hawks. And Forbes defeated Dubbo Macquarie 32 points to 12.
What would you call the Orange Derby?
I don't know, the Orange Crush? I don't know.
That's a pretty good one, straight on. That's actually, we'll take that one, that's it.
Okay, the Orange Crush. I don't know, they might have a name.
REM's Orange Crush.
Yeah, I know there's the Fishies, I think the Hawks, they've got, I know a few people from Orange, and they put down the Sims for being the fish eaters and all that kind of stuff. I don't know what the put down is for the Hawks, but
might be a good little trivia question out there. Local derbies, what their derby nicknames called? I know it's a different sport, but MPL Northern in Newcastle have the Western Bears versus Maitland FC, and they've come up with El Clasico. Of course, the coal mining region.
Nice.
Brilliant.
I noticed, I think it was only this year, you'll know a lot more than I do, that the Macquarie Lakes game in Denton Engineering Cup was called the East versus West kind of Lakes battle this year.
Yeah.
People might have said it before, but I don't know whether they've said it in the media before. But I'm like, for those who know the area, it is very east and west. You look across the lake and you can see basically Toronto, where Macquarie play, and on the other side is Belmont. So, I thought that was pretty good.
Yep. No, there's some good names. Obviously, you got the Coalfields Derby, Curry and Cessnock.
Yeah. Is it the Battle of Shell Harbour, would you call it? Yeah. I think that's a really good one. As well.
Yep. All right.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
If you've got some out there you've got in your local area, let us know. We'd love to share them.
Love to.
All right, let's go north of the border. We'll go to Queensland. Results in there, Brisbane round 8. Logan Pride 38-12 over Valleys. Redcliffe 30-12 over Carina. And West Brisbane 14-6 over South Logan. Yeah,
now to Ipswich round 2. Redbank, close enough game, 38 points to 24 against West End. The Jets defeated Fassifern 20 points to 8. And Brothers defeated Northern Tigers 28 points to 16.
Gold Coast round 4, Currumbin 24-10 over Runaway Bay, Burleigh 24-20 over Tugun, and Helensvale, their biggest win since entering the A-grade competition, 76-8 over the Toothless South Port Tigers.
Yeah, wow, that's a big win. And then up the Sunshine Coast, round 5, Maroochydore beat Caboolture 30 points to 8. Nambour went down to Coolum 18 points to 12. Beerwah comfortably into Caloundra 40 points to 0. And Stanley defeated Noosa 16 points to 4.
Yeah, no, some good results there. Poor old Southport. I know they cop a lot of knocks, but you want to see all teams do well.
Yep.
You don't want to see teams get flogged like that. So hopefully they can bounce back. But well done to Helensvale. They've been on the wrong end of a lot of hidings over the last few years. So it's good.
That's right. It's probably a couple of years ago they might have only won a game in the whole year or something like that. So good on them for shows you can turn it around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We'll get into some tries over the week. There was plenty of beauties, but we've picked out 5 that we thought were pretty damn good. First up, Kai Sarek, Ballina Seagulls, first grade.
So nicely fed through from Harvey Moswell. It's a feather in the cap and then some potentially. There's no one home. Elliot Speed getting the fight pump. Here comes Jet Ford and he's got speed. Is it going to be enough to stop Kai Sarek? It won't be. Let the crowd tell you. Have we just seen a try of the year candidate?
Will Stewart, De La Salle.
They work it to the left. They're away now with McFadden. Chips infield. And this could be a brilliant try here for De La Salle with their fullback and Will Stewart. Great work there. They run it on the last and kick infield, and the fullback there, Ryan Barton, with a bad miss.
Nicholas Cornish, Goulburn City Bulldogs.
And through the Cornish as they go, it ends up on the deck. Is that play on? Yes, it is. On they come with Stevens. Back for Cornish. Infield he comes. Space to work. Couple of steps. Grounding in the in goal.
Sheridan. Once
Alicia Kalu Durua.
Groundhog Day. It goes to the same player. And they sweep it straight away. They move up quickly. They look out. Down this left edge, all of a sudden there's runners everywhere. He has put the foot down. Gerard can't get there. Pops it back inside. Carlo Drow underneath the sticks. What about that for footy? Off the kickoff, 3 passes down the left edge. He looked back inside. And he found Elias Carlo Drow.
And Oscar Amosa, Carina Juniors. This is one that doesn't have commentary, Jeff, but a really good put down here in the corner by the winger.
Oh, yeah. He lined that up. I love how these wingers look and think, I'm going to get there. I've just got to get the angle right. It's a bit of mathematics, and he got in there. It's fantastic.
Mate, if you had to choose one, what was your pick out of those 5?
I actually, the first one, Kai Sarek.
I think that's it, yeah.
I love watching a chase. And you watch that fullback getting closer, but he got there. So that did it for me.
Yeah, I like tries that start from your own 10, so that was a good one. But the one from Boggabri, that was a beauty. But also the Nicholas Cornish try, it reminded me of Graham Mackay back in the 90s, the Panthers win.
You look at it, the man, I think he was born bald, that Graham Mackay. I don't think I ever saw hair on him. He was one of those guys, which is fine. But and played Origin. Like he was quite, people forget that. Good old Graham Mackay. But he was a good lookalike.
Yeah.
And he could finish, couldn't he?
Yeah.
Nick Cornish, I mean. Like, it was, they both could. But, he really had a step and a jink there. It's fantastic.
Yeah, excellent tries this week. If you've seen better, let us know. Send us a message at contacts@bartv.com.au or leave a comment on our Instagram, Facebook page, or even on the website where you're watching this.
Go for it.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into around the groups.
Rightio, there's a little bit happening as we can see, like the all the comps are in full swing. One thing I really like it when clubs try to, I guess, expand their footprint a little bit. And down Group 16 on the weekend, Cobargo hosted a game. First time they'd had a game in 10 years down that way.
Yep.
So I looked back as to when the last time Cobargo had represented. They were the Cobargo Bermagui Eels, their local club, and they played a couple of years ago in the Bega Pub Comp, which is what it's called, which I think fantastic. There's no hiding from that. They don't sort of make it sound fancy.
I think Tumen have a pub nights too. They get some old clubs like Adelong Green and Golds and Batlow Tigers playing that. So it's a great idea.
Great idea. Really. It's what it says on the label, really. I'd say it's a game of footy and then you go to the pub later on. But they were originally, they were one of the first grand finalists in the first Group 16 competition back in 56. So, they've got a bit of history to them. Anyway, so they played down at Narira Park and it was, the Narooma ended up defeating Bega, but good on Bega. It was Bega that took the game to Cobargo. Cobargo, of course, people that know, were really heavily affected by the fires of 2020.
Yeah.
They were like one of those towns that were completely ravaged. So it's been a few years since, but it's good to see that would no doubt help, rebuild and give the community a bit of spirit, maybe get the Eels back. You never know. Also the home of Millie Boyle.
Okay.
And Millie Elliott. Now, and her father, David Boyle.
Yeah.
David Boyle, he scratched the surface in Cobargo. If you're ever down that way, he's bought and now runs the local butcher.
There you go.
So if you go down to Cobargo, you go to Berry's Butchery.
Not Boyle's Butchers? Anyway.
No, that's what I thought. You've got to check it out. But I like the idea. You go in and get, a dozen sausages and get the eels back and you could just do the whole thing. You go and have a chat. And I think his daughter's, more famous now than he probably ever was. But, go talking about how she's going, all that kind of stuff. Get yourself half a dozen sausages, a couple of lamb chops or whatever. There were some big scores throughout the country.
Yep.
And some big try scorers I've noticed at the moment. Guys getting try after try. Woodbridge Cup is always well known for high scoring games. We're talking about the last few years, unbelievable. Molong defeated Blaney 72 points to 10 on the weekend, and there were 10 different try scorers, which I thought, 17-man squad, that's pretty good. Tomorrow, that game we talked about, 88-6, there's actually 11 different try scorers. So I don't know what the record would be. I'd say some team out there has had almost every player score, but they're big numbers.
That's a good trivia.
Yeah, I'm going to say, does anyone know a day when either every player scored because there was 16 tries or something in one of them? So you're almost going to get there, aren't you? But yeah, so that was some great high. Those games must have been crazy to watch. The amount of time taken. George Chook, the Burrawa. I can't remember their mascot. I'm really sorry.
Yeah, you've just...
So the Burrawa team in the George Chook Shield, they defeated Gugong, who was the new team in the comp, the Goannas, 64 points to 14. 5 tries to Austin Power, who is I think he's a 5'8" for Burrawa.
Yeah.
Like a name like that, he's going to be painting the town red after that. I don't even want to say anything about his name because whoever Austin Power is, he's probably copped it his whole life. And one of his teammates, Zach Patterson, scored 4 tries. So 5 tries seems to be a lot. But I haven't heard of 6 tries really in the most recent history. So put a challenge out there to some of these teams. See if we can get a guy scoring 6 tries or a gal.
We talked about stats last week. Was it Matty Carroll, most points in Group 7?
Yeah.
Like who's running second and third? Stats like that we love. Like who scored the most tries in the game.
Yeah.
There's somebody up there that have it in a shoebox under their bed somewhere.
I know, because, if you don't record that, you don't know. It's always just, and that's what I've always said about BarTV. It's great to have that evidence, because someone who's sitting in a pub saying, last year I was in reserve grade and I scored 17 tries in one game.
Or I kicked a goal from the sideline after being impaled by Rich's hat.
Or even I kicked a field goal.
Yes.
Prop forward and I kicked a field. No one believes you. Say, look, go to the tape. Like, you can actually watch me. Watch the CRL show. I was even on that. That's fantastic. The good news for the Outback Rugby League, I haven't heard a lot of in the past year or so. I'm always a bit concerned they struggle for numbers to get a comp going. The Wilcannia women have taken it upon themselves, and with Ivanhoe, from the Proten Cup, a friend of the show, to essentially 8 or so Wilcannia women have joined the Ivanhoe Hens.
Wow.
I wrongly called the Henettes a few weeks ago, but it's a 2-hour drive, so it's not. I mean, it's still a drive.
Yeah,
but,
okay.
I think they played a trial against Franken Springs, which was a 5-hour drive.
Yeah, so 2 hours. I thought it'd be longer.
I thought it'd be longer, but I think Ivanhoe they're probably connected with because it is the closest when it comes to Proten to the Outback area.
Yeah, okay.
But their away games are going to be unbelievable for those ladies. But good on those Wilcannia women. I think we'll get a photo up here for those who are watching. They are making a big effort to play rugby league this year because I'm assuming that the Outback women's comp might be struggling to get the numbers to get a comp. Hopefully the men's can run this year. Speaking of Proten, the knockout was on the weekend.
Yep.
The Narrandera Lizards won. A fantastic. It looked like a fantastic weekend out there. Narrandera actually said, someone said afterwards, they actually were weeks away from not having the numbers to put a team together. So good on whoever that they had to ring around, basically, come on, do you want to play, do you want to play, do you want to play? So hopefully this win will galvanise that group and they'll play on. But they won 16 points to 8 in the final against Ivanhoe. So there's always a bit of a grudge match against those two. Deniliquin played their first game in 48 years.
Wow.
On the weekend, and actually received, for those watching, there'll be you'll see the picture there. Warren Smith, the commentator, I don't know his connection with Deniliquin, but he put out a big, nice little photo and a little comment about how chuffed he is. It sounds like he might know someone in the club, like mates with the chairman or president or something like that. But put on a Denny jersey, got a photo, and was saying, "Good on you guys, good luck." Like I love that stuff because it doesn't take much.
Yeah.
You got to get the jersey, I guess, but like I saw it go. What? Is that Warren Smith? Is he going to? I thought he was going to run on the field. What's the deal? But anyway, and Hillston, the women's comp, Barellan were. They got a hell of a squad down there. The Rams, a women's team. They defeated Ivanhoe 16-0, Rankin Springs 30-0, and Ivanhoe in the final 34-0. Right. So they did not concede a point. Having said that, Hillston, who played in that comp as well, said that this time last year they only had 5 players to put together and they were able to get a full team out on this weekend. So it's great to see growth in that area. There seems to be just growing in the West River Arena. Clayton's Cup.
All right, here we go.
I've been waiting for a long time because it's a bit early to talk Clayton's Cup, or is it? What I've noticed is for those who, familiarise yourself with Clayton's Cup, it's for the winningest team in New South Wales Rugby League every year. Camden won last year. Essentially, you've got to win almost all of your games, pretty much all of your games. But the teams that were up against that were in contention last year were undefeated teams. So may not happen this year, but most of the time it's an undefeated team. Gulgong the year before were undefeated, and Camden last year. Camden have started well. They got 5 wins on the trot. But they're close results. Like they won to Picton on the weekend 28-18.
Yeah.
Pressure's on when you're holding the Clayton's Cup and you're undefeated. You've got to feel that pressure a little bit. They haven't lost a game since September 2023. So they're humming along. But we have what I am now calling the undefeated team or Clayton's Cup Bingo.
Okay.
For viewers, you'll see you've got a bingo card up there. I'm going to start scratching them off for every loss. So no pressure, these teams. But as you go through them, what you'll find interesting is there's lots of competitions and teams you would expect to be in contention that are already out.
Yeah.
So teams that are in are Coogin and Ballamble, Camden, Merimbula, which I wouldn't have picked, but at the start of the year, Tatra, Olbar, Port Sharks, Macleay Valley, West Belconnen, the Rosellas in Newcastle, Pumpkin Pickers, the Collies of Illawarra, Forbes, Dubbo Sims, Erina, I'll go through them all, North Tamworth, not North Queensland, Waggaroos, Singleton, Greater Branxton, Coolah, Coonabarabran, South Grafton, Nambucca, and Woolgoolga. And, in Wingham I missed as well.
Right, okay. So they're all...
That's a list.
Haven't taken a loss yet, but I reckon that it could be halved maybe after this weekend.
Well, that's what I find interesting. It's got to go down. But I think late last season we got down to 3 or 4 teams, and then it became 3 teams, and then 2 teams. And I think in the end, it was Cobar were also undefeated, and Scone were undefeated last year as well. Yeah, and essentially, then the New South Wales Rugby League has to make a decision based on their data and their formula about which team becomes the Clayton Cup winner, and it was Camden last year. Yeah. So anyway, we're going to play Clayton's Cup Bingo over the next couple of months. Hold on tight. You can skip forward. No, don't skip forward. But it's just interesting. There are teams there like that. No Queanbeyan team. Both Queanbeyan teams have lost, so they're out. Gone. Unless all
those teams lose one, they're back in the race.
You wait till you see that bingo card then. For the one loss bingo card is going to fill the screen. But you're right. Yeah. So assuming that being undefeated is going to get you the cup. There's a few teams there. I'm like, wow, okay, yeah. There isn't a Canberra team. No, there isn't a Canberra team.
West Bell.
Oh, West Bell. Yep. Sorry, West Bell are there. There was one competition I looked at. I think it might be Northern Rivers, where there's been a loss in every team has suffered.
You got Coogin and Ballamble there.
Oh,
you just make it. I'm looking at your list here.
I know. Sorry. Okay, I'll put it out there. I can't remember the comp I was thinking of, but there definitely was a comp. I'm not going to say Newcastle. I could just go through them all.
Have you just written down club names?
Yeah, you just keep correcting me. I'll just say, I'll get back to you. I don't know. It was some team. I don't know. No, but there were some surprises in there where you go, oh, wait a minute. I thought they'd be the ones that would be undefeated by now. But anyway, we'll keep working on it, tinkering away.
I'll stop looking at your notes too.
No, I'm going to get my little red cross graphic to start crossing them out. And I don't know, it's kind of bingo card that never ends. We're not going to shout bingo, hopefully, because one team will still remain there, or 1 or 2 teams. But Clayton's Cup is very interesting because, like I said, it's if you really are aiming for it, I don't know how many clubs aim to win it. I'm sure it's in the back. I'm sure a bunch of teams who are undefeated halfway through the season, it's on the back of their mind. It's like,
definitely. I reckon you'd get into close, 2 or 3 rounds left in the year, so we could get through it and see, we can win this as well. So
and when it's down to 2 or 3 of those teams, it's a bit of head game stuff. You might be keeping an eye on Camden's results or Scone's results and going, did they lose on the weekend because we won, kind of thing. So apart from that, it's been like I said, a real full-on round of high-scoring matches round. That's sort of my around the groups.
Yeah, well, this is the CRL show, believe it or not. Sometimes we wonder what it stands for, but City v Country is happening this weekend.
Yeah,
it's being played in the Northern Beaches, the most country area that Sydney can think of. So it's
country boys will be. The country players will be real country though, won't they?
Yeah,
not like back in the day where a lot of them lived in the city.
Yeah, so it's happening over a weekend. So there's 4 games on Saturday. And 3 on the Sunday. It's going to be a big weekend, another big weekend for poor old Sully.
Yeah.
And Campbell. But, so today we've got under 16 kicking off at 10:30, the 18s at 12 o'clock or midday, and then the men's opens at 10 to 2. Followed by the wheelchair. Wheelchair games obviously going to be at Brookvale. It's at Camellia Sporting Complex, just near Rose Hill Racecourse. That kicks off at 4 p.m. On Sunday, we have the physical disabilities at 10 a.m, then the Lisa Fiola or the women's at under 17s at 10:15, followed by the under 19s women's at 10 to 1. So it's a big weekend of City v Country. We've got the country team up for you. We'll put that up on the screen for you now. Geoff, I don't know how good your eyesight is, but hopefully the viewers can see that. If you're listening to this, there's an awful lot of Newcastle representatives. We'll go through the team for you. I'll read it out quickly. Tomasi Bika from Monaro, James Bradley, Maitland Picker, Jack Buchanan, Western Rams, Josh Daly, Illawarra, South Coast, Jake Goodwin, Newcastle or Western Suburbs, Callum Gromick, Northern Rivers. You got Jacob Koenig, Northern Rivers, Toby Marks, Northern Rivers, James Morgan, Riverina. You got Lachlan O'Brien, Chad O'Donnell from Newcastle, Harley Ridge, Central Coast, Ryan Shaw, Central Coast, Matthew Sopalaw, the Newcastle, Adam Walker, Northern Rivers, Braxton Wallace, Illawarra, South Coast. And followed off by the Zebra brothers, Caleb and Connor from the Northern Rivers. Aaron Gorrell's the coach. Obviously, a lot of those guys were familiar with BarTV, but that's a pretty strong team.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, they're going to be throwing everything at the City guys. I think, is it maybe the same as it was years ago with the senior City, or the original, or whatever you call it, City Country, where the country boys are the ones that are really wanting to throw an upset in there. So I can imagine they'll be giving it everything.
Yeah, and we'll put the City team up there for you too. Mitchell Butfield from St Mary's, Joshua Finau from Glebe Dirty Reds, Iverson Fata Timu, Glebe Dirty Reds as well, Zach Green, St Mary's, Jordan Hill, Wentworth Phil, Anthony Lane, St Mary's, Falifa Latoy, St Mary's, Manny Luke, Wentworthville, Jack Miller Mounties, Austin Quest, Wentworthville, Jack Rafferty, Butfield, St Mary's, Corey Ross, Hills Bulls, Adam Runshaw, Canterbury Bankstown, Joseph Tarpari, Glebe, Stephen Tupal Sacco, Right Eastwood, Vito Tavaga, Glebe, Joseph Tremanatama, Mounties, and Tagana Yutaka Kamananu of West Penrith Brothers. Darren Baker's the coach, and Geoff, I wish I'd had proofread that before.
You did a cracker of a job. I don't envy you. What'll be great Saturday? I love BarTV, especially when there's early starts.
Yep.
You know, so the first game's at 10:30, Saturday and Sunday first game's 10 a.m. So you can sort of be still, slopping around in your PJs like I am that time of Saturday, and get into the footy early. Fantastic.
Yeah. For those people always whinging and complaining, I wish they'd bring City v Country back. Well, it's been around.
Yeah.
And it's up to you guys to actually support it. Obviously, country people, we don't expect you to travel to Brookvale, but look, you can watch it on BarTV.
Yeah.
First game's at 10:30.
Yep.
You can watch 2 days. Get a 48-hour pass, and you can watch all City v Country that you like. But if you want things like this to stay, you got to support it. You got to watch it.
And things I heard 20 or 30 years ago, they'd say, City Country back in the day wasn't real because a lot of the players were living in cities. These are country players coming to the city to play city players. Like, this is what City Country was originally sort of sought out to be, and we've got it. And so all those people out there 15 years ago saying, but he plays for Manly, he can't be a country player. It's like, well, here we are. Yeah. You know, these guys are playing in country comps, country players coming into the city to try to pull one over the city's best players.
Yeah.
Well, fantastic.
All right, is that around the groups?
That's around the groups for me, yep.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to City v Country on the weekend. And also just keeping an eye on some of those undefeated teams to see how the Clayton Cup Bingo card will look this week. And
I might have been a bit presumptuous when we had the country championships previously that there might be some scouts looking for players, but those under 16s and 18s teams, I think there'd be definitely some NRL scouts keeping an eye on that game as well, and might be an opportunity that a player who lives up the Northern Rivers may have never had. So there's that as well. It's really great.
All right, big hits of the week. Favourite part of the CRL show, not just by us, but the viewers too.
Yeah.
Keep giving us plenty of advice that we've missed a few. We can't find them all. But as we say, go to BarTV. Was it contact@bartv.com.au and let us know, and we can try and share them. Well, let's have a look at the big hits of the week. First up, Blake Hoskins, Newtown Jets, I should say.
Gets met and solidly hit. Once again, Blake Hosking did well. Gone out.
Next up, Zach Clark, Penrith Panthers.
Tour for Fika, as now they go out to the left side. Big hit. I tell you what, that is a legal hit too at that from Clark. It was a very good tackle as now he gets up.
Tiaki Kaharua of Dapto Canaries. What I like about this one, Geoff, is that he does the big hit. Ball comes loose. And then there's a little handshake to say, you all right, bud? Yeah, mate, I'm fine.
Nice. That's nice. That's rugby league.
Zachary Edwards, Burleigh Bears, DLC. And finally here, Jack Hooker, Burleigh Bears, under 18s. I don't know what was in the water of the Burleigh Bears this weekend, but they were putting on plenty of big hits.
Yeah. And, you know, we've got to be grateful. All the people pointing them out are fantastic. We've got to be grateful to the hitters and the hittees.
Yep.
Really, it doesn't happen without you guys and gals as well, because that last one, oh, my God. It's almost like a giraffe, because I don't think he saw it coming, so he didn't brace. So the legs just went boom, upside down. They're fantastic.
Yep. If you've seen better, let us know. We'll share on one of our social media pages for sure. All right, moving along, we get into the fixtures that are happening on BarTV this weekend. Round 11 of the Knock-On Effect New South Wales Cup. It kicks off Friday night. Newcastle at home to Parramatta. Newtown host Canberra. Canterbury travel to take on Manly. That's actually after the City v Country game.
Yeah,
So
nice.
not only will you get the City v Country, you also get a Knock-On Effect Cup game. Sydney Roosters, they host the New Zealand Warriors. North Sydney at North Sydney Oval take on St George Illawarra. And Western Suburbs host Souths at Campbelltown. Penrith have the bye.
Now, round 5, all on Sunday at 2:45, the NRRL. Great time of year to be watching rugby league up that way. Nice and warm and great weather. Balambula hosting Casino. Maris Brothers playing Tweed Heads. Coogin up against Mullumbimby. My Kyogle Turkeys are playing Tweed Coast. Byron Bay are up against Ballina, and Evans Head playing Northern United.
Canberra Raiders Cup, round 6, all on Saturday. Tuggeranong host Queanbeyan Blues. Gungahlin at home to Woden Valley. The undefeated West Belconnen host Goulburn City. And this one will be a cracker. Queanbeyan Roos and Belconnen United. So I think that's the feature match.
Yeah, so it should be. And now down to Group 9, round 5. This will be a curious game. Wagga Brothers are up against Cootamundra, which will be an interesting one with Coota back in the comp this year. Tamora are up against Wagga in another good game. Tumut hosting Junee. Young are up against South City, and Albury are hosting Gundagai.
Yeah, Tamora v Wagga Kangaroos. I believe even though Tamora had the win last week, they've got the start against Wagga Kangaroos.
There you go. Yeah, I thought that'll be a cracker of a game, and I was curious about that, because that'll be for a Challenge Cup game, that is going to be an absolute belter.
Yep. Peter McDonald Cup, round 4, all on Sunday. Mudgee host Lithgow. Wellington at home to Forbes. Ningen and Dubbo Sims. You got Orange Sims hosting Bathurst. St Pat's take on Orange Hawks. And Dubbo Macquarie at home to Parks. Not sure which game will be on BarTV this week, but just keep checking back.
Keep an eye out. Any of those games will be great to watch, so it works out well. Group 7, round 6, the Jamboree Golden Valley Superoos are hosting the Stingrays on Saturday. Now are up against Albion Park. Kiama play Gerringong. Is that a derby? I don't know. They're kind of close.
Yeah, very close.
Let's call it a derby. And Shell Harbour are up against Milton Ulladulla with Berry with the bye.
Newcastle round 4, even though it was round 5 last week, this round was washed out, and the way things are looking, this will be washed out again. West host Macquarie, it's their ladies' day. Souths at home to Curry. The entrance hosts Cessnock. Northern Hawks are at home to Maitland, and Lakes and Central do battle. Wyong have the bye. Actually, that last one, I believe it's Central v Wyong, because that was also a washout from round 2.
Yeah, okay.
So they're going to play that one. I think Lakes and Central's not going to happen till August.
Yeah, the comps are working hard, aren't they? Just trying to catch up with games. They're doing well. Now, all on Saturday, Illawarra round 4. Dapto hosting Collies. De La Salle versus West, which will be a cracker of a game. And Thurula playing Corrimal.
Central Coast round 6, all on Sunday. Berkeley Vale, they're at home to the entrance. Arimba host Woy Woy. That's the ground of the round. Toukley take on Kincumber, and Erina at home to Terrigal. Bit of a derby, that one.
Yeah, another one. Now, Brisbane round 9. Carina hosting Logan Pride. Redcliffe are up against Wynnum, and Souths host Valleys.
Gold Coast round 5. Runaway Bay host Burleigh. Helensvale at home to Currumbin, and Southport travel to Tugun.
Yeah, Ipswich round 3. West End are up against Brothers Ipswich. Northern Tigers are hosting Ipswich Jets. Fassifern are hosting Redbank.
And finally, Sunshine Coast round 6. Beaver at home to Noosa. Stanley River take on Kawana. Maroochydore host Nambour. And Coolum and Caloundra take on each other. Caboolture have the bye. That's all the fixtures we believe this week.
Yeah, fantastic. There's so many, and there's thanks to the mini games on BarTV, we can all catch up because you can't do them all at once. But no, there'll be some great footy played all over the state and country.
Yeah. Well, mate, that's pretty much us done and dusted for the CRL show.
Yeah, sounds great. We've had a great week and really big week of footy ahead.
Yep. All right, that's all from me, Paul Arandale, Geoff Stevenson. Thanks for joining us as usual. We'll catch you next week.
Yeah.